Inside story for today. In the 30s for the McIntyre band, some stars said this fly anywhere, anytime attitude puts them at risk.
We all knew that something like this could happen to any of us because we all travel all the time. We're really very, very lucky in this business that this doesn't happen more often.
Some celebrities, such as Joanne Woodward, Aretha Franklin, and John Madden, often refuse to fly.
Oxygen systems.
Check yours in.
But flying is a fact of life for many other performers and sports stars. When golf great Arnold Palmer takes off, he's in the pilot seat. Palmer started flying when he turned professional 35 years ago, and he has logged 13,000 hours as a pilot. Rockers Motley Crue to Kenny Rogers own or lease their own planes.
I've had a plane for about the last 8 years. John Denver's the one that talked me into this. He said that, you know, an airplane for a person who travels as much as I do, if you're truly a user, will add 10 years to your life, and I believe that in the long run.
We never play enough crew. The crew are currently on tour in support of the Dr. Feelgood record. The crew consists of Mick Mars on guitar, Nikki Sixx on bass, Tommy Lee on drums, and Vince Neil on vocals. Mick Mars being the oldest member and the only member from the original band. Remember when I was younger, but a few years ago, reading a Circus magazine and Cream magazine and seeing ads for this like really wild band selling mail order records, and it was Motley Crue. They've been real targets of the PMRC because with the Shout at the Devil Theater Pain record where they use the pentagrams and stuff, apparently they all used to live together in an apartment a block away from the Whiskey A Go-Go in Hollywood, and they've all kicked drugs, they've cleaned up their acts. I remember interviewing them about 3 years ago on the Girls, Girls, Girls tour, and Tommy Lee saying that what they did was sleep all day and stay up all night and party and drink and just have a good time. But they don't do that anymore because they've cleaned up. You're going to see Kickstart My Heart, Dr. Feelgood, Wild Side, Smoking in the Boys' Room, Too Young to Fall in Love, Looks That Kill, all that and more right after this on the Blue Spotlight.
VII-TV, Channel 7. Got a request for something? You have the urge, as it were, request a video? You can call us 207-945-0000, and starting next week, toll-free in Maine, you'll be able to call 1-800-422-HITS. Now, it won't do you any good right now, but starting next week, that's our brand new all-hit video toll-free 1-800 number. You might want to write that down. It will be in service about midweek, okay? But right now, 945-0000.
The one I used, Motley Crue had to straighten up to speak out against drug use.
A decade of decadence, a look at their 10-year career, at least what they can show on television. So, and they're connected, believe it or not. I would think there would be a mutual respect between both these bands. Neil Young, we're going to play you Wondering, and Motley Crue, Looks That Kill. This is Backtrax from L.A.
one of the most notorious bands in the history of rock and roll will probably be Motley Crue. First time I heard of the band, it was actually about 1983. The album was Shout at the Devil. It was produced by former chief trick producer Tom Werman. It was the first real studio album for the band, but to go back in time with them, Nikki Sixx being the leader and the important member of the band and founder of the group, basically grew up in Seattle, went down to California where he met up with Tommy Lee first at the age of 17. They began to record a few demos together, and next along came Mick Mars, guitarist. Mick Mars actually was they found an ad for him in a Los Angeles music paper, said, "I'm a loud, obnoxious, and a rude guitar player looking for a band." They called him up. It was Mick Mars who came up with the name Motley Crue, and then Vince Neil was the last member that they found, this young David Lee Roth, hopeful, and they did think that he had a lot of hope and possibly could make a great front man, but he didn't show to the first audition. It wasn't until the second audition that he showed up, then things gelled. That was January 17th, 1981 when things gelled for the band. The first release, though, was independently done. They say it was a little bit more of a demo. It was called Too Fast for Love. It was out there in 1981. That got them noticed eventually by Doc McGee, who was their infamous manager who got caught in a drug scandal. After that, we got on to the days of some serious business. The Crue is one of the greatest bands around. Unfortunately, there was a car accident that happened on the European tour, and I'll just read this clip for you before we get ready to go into the spotlight. It says, what is known that approximately at 6:30 p.m. Vince Neil lost control of his 1972 Pantera and swerved in the opposing lane, hitting two other cars. Vince sustained a few cracked ribs and cuts, but his passenger, Hanoi Rocks 24-year-old drummer Nicholas Razzle Dingle was killed, and two young passengers in a Volkswagen swerved. Injuries were ensued, and there was a bit of brain damage. Now, that should be enough reason for you not to drink, do drugs, and drive. If it isn't, I'm sure in the spotlight you will find out more about what happened. Their latest album done in Vancouver, produced by Bob Rock. He did an amazing job. It's their best record yet. They did it while they were clean and sober. It's called Dr. Feelgood. Stay tuned. The Crue in the spotlight for you.
We grew up on the street. We grew up back alleys where, you know, we were in gangs. And people like to think that life is peaches and cream. I'm telling you, it ain't.
But it ain't.
Because I know, because I've been there. We're Motley Crue, and we do what we do.
We do this, you know, 24 hours a day. This is our life. You know, we don't tell people to go out and do exactly what we do because we're used to it. We do it day after day after day. This is our job.
For them, it's a release.
Right. You know, they come to our concerts and, you know, and they just have a really good time. They release all their anxieties and everything, and, you know, because their teachers have been on their back all day, or their bosses, and they just want to get away from it all. But,
we'd rather have them come to a Motley Crue concert, right?
That's it.
We're the good guys, you see. We'd rather have them come see us and go out and rob liquor stores and beat up old ladies and drugs and car accidents and alcohol, just because we do that every day.
We do a public service.
Do you spend a lot of time working on the sounds in the different halls that you have to play in?
Yeah, well, I mean, like an average day would be, we'd get up 2 o'clock or whatever, you know, get up and do some interviews, and then we go to the hall, you know, get sound check, make sure the set's right. And by then it's, you know, time for wine and tea to go on. The band is with us on tour. And
time for us to drink.
Time for us to drink.
And prepared for the show.
And then, yeah, it takes us like an hour to get ready, so there's more time to drink. We have a good time.
I can't wait to drink some Canadian beer, by the way. Oh, it's very good. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. It looks like we caught you at the good time of the day, though. I'm seeing clear eyes and you know, a reasonably lucid performance here.
A couple hours from now, this won't be possible.
Later it'll be another story altogether.
I'm on my way.
How do you travel?
Well, we have our own plane, so what we do is it's really easy for us. You know, we just, like, we base out of one city, and then we, like, fly hubs back and forth. So we stay in like a hotel for like 10 days at a time.
So what about Vancouver? You've played there already.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
do you know that city very well now?
Oh yeah, it's like second home for us. You know, we were we lived there for 6 months.
Oh.
Because we recorded the album there. So you know, we got a lot of friends there. Like, so when we played there, it was almost like playing Los Angeles. You know, we had like 300 people on the guest list. You know, like people and just like tons. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
Today it was Motley Crue. Tomorrow,
case of the Black Plague, not the disease thing.